Rog. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
How long have you been at ASNU?
25 years.
How did you end up joining ASNU?
I used to work with Phil in a company called Watford Tool Supplies, and we specialised in diagnostic equipment. Part of that equipment was ASNU. The company was then bought out by Sykes Pickavant, which is a very large group, or was a very large group. Um, I, Phil stuck it out for 6 months working for them, then decided he would go off and sell ASNU. I then got a phone call from him 2 years later saying, Rog, I need help on the sales side in the field. Can you come and join me? And the answer was yes, because I've always liked what ASNU's philosophy and what it can do. It's a great product.
Nice. What was it like in the early days of ASNU?
A struggle, believe me. There was probably only, 3, 4 of us working at the time for ASNU. I was covering one side of the world and Phil was covering the other side. So that'll give you an idea. We had one guy in dispatch and Melissa on the telephones. And that's the staffing level, isn't it?
How do you think the industry has changed over the years?
Dramatically. What I've seen is the specialist workshops have survived. The general garages have not, because the technology that's now underneath the bonnet, unless you've got £100,000 worth of specialist tools, you're not going to be able to work on these cars. So the intentions were from the manufacturers, main dealers only worked on the vehicles. So there's been a decline in skill levels because young people just don't want to join the motor industry, basically.
Can you tell us a little bit about your racing history?
Certainly. I started motor racing, Little Mini, in 1967 at various circuits throughout England, including Brands Hatch, Silverstone, Mallory Park, Liddon Hill. So yes, I then made the decision in the 70s to get married. And I stopped my motor racing because obviously you couldn't afford to do both. Then in 75, I got bored and I got an invitation from my uncle to help restore some classic racing cars, which were mainly Lotus. And then I got the opportunity to race some of his cars in historic race meetings, including Lotus 12 Formula One, Lotus 78 Formula One car. So yes, a whole raft of experience racing these cars right up until 97. And my last race meeting was at the Goodwood Festival of Speed Hill Climb, where I was against Sterling Moss, Tony Brooks, quite a few well-known names. And I actually won on that day. And that was the day I hung up my crash helmet, and I haven't raced since. But I encouraged my son and built a car for him, an Austin Healey Sprite, which some of you may have heard of or may not have. And he raced that very successfully. Virtually every race meeting we were in the first 3, so that was good. I am now, believe it or not, building a car with the help of my grandson, and we hope to be competing in a few hill climbs and things like that. So I still haven't lost the touch yet.
That's a brilliant answer. So what's your dream car?
My dream car, an Alfa Romeo 1600 GTA.
ASNU has taken you all over the world. Can you name some of the places that you visited?
Okay, Saudi Arabia, Dubai, Iraq, Iran, Germany, Italy, South Africa, all of Europe, and Bali, Australia, to name but 12 of them, to be honest with you. Wherever there was a chance of setting up a distributor and selling machines, I'd be there on the next flight, basically. Slovenia, I got stuck in there once when all the volcano eruptions, and I had to get a train back, which is quite daunting to say the least. But yeah, just some of the countries.
Well, he beat me to it. I was going to ask for a memorable moment from your years at ASNU.
Russia, going to Russia, that was quite something. That was, oh dear. And when I first went um, the to Croatia, they'd just finished the Balkans War, and that was quite frightening, seeing burnt out tanks on the side of the road, and I'm trying to set a distributor up out there, so that was quite interesting. But we did succeed, however. But that will always stay in my mind after hearing explosions at 1 o'clock in the morning, and then suddenly realise that somebody was letting off fireworks. But the other one I can tell you is when I was in Iraq, and there was only one hotel you could stay in, and before you go into the hotel, you have to go through a metal detector, etc. You have a questionnaire by a security guard. Anyway, I went to my room. I was really tired because I'd been flying all the night. Went to bed, and then about 2 o'clock in the morning, the whole building was shaking. My room was filled with light. And I thought, wonder what that is. So I pulled the curtain back, and there's an Apache attack helicopter right outside my window with its lights fully on. And I thought, what's this all about? And it was just the American base was just down the road, and they were just wanted something to do for the evening, I think. And but the reception I got out there in Iraq is very good, very knowledgeable mechanics, very warmly treated wherever I went. I was treated very well, and we did do some good business and for a while. So yeah, that stands out.
What do you think sets ASNU apart from everyone else in the industry?
Uh, we're selling a quality product. We've now been doing it for nearly 35 years. Um, the backup that ASNU obviously offers to all its customers, we're just a phone call away.
How important do you think it is to build strong relationships with our customers?
Absolute 100%. We have to. If we don't have the customers trust in us, then what can I say? Go and buy a Chinese machine.
I'm going to ask you about I know some of the machines that you've installed.
Probably the Pro Drive.
ProDrive.
Yeah, it's quite a and Roger Clark Motorsport. Most of these in the motorsport area, which is one of my specialist subjects, as you no doubt found out earlier. So yeah, what other big names can I think of? M Sport, they're responsible for the Ford rally cars. Um, Mount Tune, put a machine into there. Tom Day fuel injection. I put that machine in 2008, so it's a good few years, and his machine has been outstanding. He's now bought the latest update model, so that's one of the customers that we've got hooked. There's so many out there, I just honestly can't list everyone that I've done in the UK. Um, no, that's it.
Brilliant. What do you think about the petrol versus electric debate?
I don't think there's a contest, to be honest with you. I think the cost of running an electric car when it comes to the end of its useful battery life is just out of the question. It's just too expensive. Petrol cars are going to be around for a long time, even if they're going to be running on LPGs and compressed natural gas. There'll still be a demand for the ASNU machine because the injectors will still need servicing at some point.
Well, thank you very much, Rog. It's a pleasure, as always.
Was that all right?